The storm began without warning. I'd been chopping wood outside my cabin in the northern Yukon when the first tremor hit. The sky darkened not with clouds, but with something stranger, flickering lights that danced like northern auroras gone haywire. A deep hum rose from the forest, vibrating through my boots, rattling the axe in my hand. By the time I got back inside and bolted the door, the storm had hit full force. Trees bent under invisible pressure. My generator groaned and flickered. Then everything went silent. No wind, no noise. Just a stillness so complete it made my ears ring. And then came the knock. Not a pounding, not even urgent. Just a single, deliberate tap-tap-tap on the wood. I stared at the door. No one should have been out there. My nearest neighbor was 50 miles south. I grabbed my old hunting rifle, approached the door slowly, and opened it. She collapsed into my arms. She wasn't dressed for the cold. Barefoot, barely clothed in some shimmering fabric that looked metallic, like liquid silver. Her skin was a soft bluish hue, faint like frostbite just setting in. Her hair, long and braided, shimmered with bioluminescent strands. Eyes, completely black like twin moons in eclipse. I pulled her inside and slammed the door shut. Her body was icy, but I wrapped her in all the blankets I had, set her by the fireplace, and lit a flame big enough to cook an elk. For hours she barely moved, except to shiver and mumble in a language I couldn't understand. I gave her hot water, soup, even my thickest parka. Slowly, her color returned, not to human tones, but to a kind of radiant lavender that pulsed slightly with every breath she took. When she finally opened her eyes and sat up, she stared at the fire like it was the first time she'd ever seen one. "You made heat," she whispered. Her voice wasn't entirely right. Each word trembled with odd echoes like multiple frequencies playing at once. I nodded cautiously. "Yes, fire. You were freezing to death out there." She turned to me, eyes wide. "I not know death, but I know freeze. Cold like old planet. No core. No soul." I sat across from her, rifle still within reach. "Where are you from?" She touched her chest. "Zayla. I fall from the void." "Fall? From where?" Her eyes went distant. "Ship. Crashed. Too much interference. Magnetic surge from planet. We didn't chart this world. No warning." My stomach dropped. "Wait. You're saying you're an alien?" She smiled softly. "You say that. I say different birth. Different sky." For some reason I believed her. In the days that followed, the snowstorm kept us trapped. The weather station was dead. Radio useless. No signs of rescue or even contact from the outside world. But Zayla, she healed faster than I expected. She stayed near the fire constantly, sitting almost inside it sometimes, soaking in the heat like it was food. "The warmth," she said one evening, staring into the blaze. "It is like touch of life. Our kind, where I come from, we are born from suns, from heat beds. We lost that long ago. My people forgot fire. We chase stars now. But inside me still remembers. You evolved on a hot planet." I asked, handing her another bowl of stew. "Born under twin suns. No night, only shadow of moons. But we left, built ships, became cold people. And now you're here," I said. "On a frozen patch of earth." "I found you," she replied. "You made warmth. Like no other." Something passed between us then. Not romantic. Not yet. But primal, old, like the recognition of survival in another's eyes. The third night she screamed. I jolted awake, rifle in hand, and found her convulsing in front of the fireplace. Her skin pulsed red-orange, veins glowing like magma. Her body emitted heat so intense I had to back away. "I can't contain it," she gasped. "Core is waking. Heat needs anchor." I pulled her toward me without thinking, ignoring the pain. My arms burned instantly, but I held her. She trembled against me like a furnace out of control. I poured cold water on us both, blankets, anything to contain the flare-up. Eventually she stabilized. Her body dimmed back to lavender blue. "Why didn't you let go?" she whispered. "You needed help," I said through scorched lips. "That's what people do." "Not on my world," she murmured. "We die alone. He dies with us. But you held me." She looked at me then with something deeper than gratitude. With awe. And something else. Need. The crash site was 10 miles away. Once the storm cleared, we set out together. Zayla insisted. She needed to find the remnants of her ship before someone else did. We trekked through thick snowdrifts and iced over creeks. She moved differently than before. Stronger, more alive. The heat inside her, once unstable, now glowed with purpose. She touched trees and frost melted. Her breath alone sent plumes of warmth into the air. We found the wreckage on the edge of a ravine. It wasn't a ship as I imagined. More like a pod, oblong and half-submerged in rock. Alien script glowed along the hull. Zayla touched it and winced. No survivors. All gone. What do we do now? She pulled something from the debris. A thin cylinder, no bigger than a flashlight. It vibrated in her hand. "This beacon calls my kind. But signal is weak. Needs stronger power source." "Like what?" She looked at me. "Like a soul with warmth." Took me a moment to understand. "You want to use me as a battery." She shook her head quickly. "Not use. Your warmth, it's not just physical. Emotional. Biological. That's what woke me. That's what they forgot, my people. You carry life differently. It's stronger." "Are you saying your people evolved past feelings?" She looked away. "We call them inefficiencies. But now I know they were anchors. Just like you held me by the fire." That night, back at the cabin, things changed. She sat beside me, closer than before. Her skin radiated a gentle heat, comforting. The fireplace crackled, but it was her presence that warmed me. "I need your help," she said. "Not just to survive. To remember. To be." "What does that mean?" "I want to stay. With you. This place, this warmth. It awakened more than my core. It awakened me." I hesitated. "Zayla, I don't even know what you are. You know what I feel." She took my hand. Her touch was electric. Not lustful, not carnal, but something more. A fusion of being. I nodded slowly. "Then stay." Weeks passed. We became partners. She learned to cook, to split wood, to move through snow without sinking. I learned to listen, to read her subtle expressions, to feel the shifts in her inner flame. And at night we talked. She told me of the starless realms her people drifted through. Of how they once worshipped heat but replaced it with machinery. How they became sterile, long-living but hollow. She was part of an expedition meant to find lost warmths. Ancient planets still rich in solar resonance. Earth wasn't even on the list. But some gravitational anomaly pulled her ship off course. "A mistake," she said. "But a good one." We began sleeping in the same bed. Not for intimacy but for heat. And, eventually, for closeness. Her body no longer burned out of control. My presence stabilized her. We didn't talk about what we were. We didn't need to. We just were. Then the signal came. It arrived in the dead of night. The beacon she'd pulled from the crash began to hum. A distant vibration through the sky. A low-frequency pulse, barely audible. Zayla sat up straight. "They're coming." My blood ran cold. "Who?"